CM 365, all about Carnatic music. For any construction, we see that a base is absolutely necessary. For example, if you are constructing a building, you need a strong base for it to be built up properly. Similarly, we see that in Carnatic music or Hindustani music, that is basically the Indian classical music, we have the base as the Shadja. The Shadja is the base on which the entire system of our Indian classical music actually revolves, and every bit of the music actually makes sense, I would say, in the context of this Shadja only. So thus the Shadja becomes a very, very important note, and we see that especially when we are on the stage, you would have seen that there are other musicians along with the vocalists, like the violinist or the mridangist and the ghatam artist and so on. And all of them are in perfect sync on stage because of the fact that all of them are tuned to a common pitch or common Shadja aspect. And that is why you see that they are all in perfect sync, and you as the audience are also able to enjoy it. Now, if there is no concept of a common Shadja or a common Shruti pitch, that is, and imagine just myself singing in G Shruti and the violin is tuned to D and the mridang is to say A and ghatam to B pitch, then there will be totally discordance in the stage, and you'll be not having a kind of a pleasant experience because of the fact that the notes will not synchronize at all. So only when all of them actually tune to a common pitch, then we see that the music is perfect and well balanced. So that is where we see that the Shadja becomes a very, very important note in that aspect. Now let us look at this concept of Shadja in the context of film music, and then you'll be able to understand it better. In film music, we see that the songs are composed in different pitches. That is based on the melody, that is the melodic flow, the range of the composition, pitch is fixed. Also, sometimes we see that based on the singer's pitch facility, a song may be also devised. Whereas in Carnatic music, we see that every musician for that matter has his own specific pitch. That is, I sing in G, that is my pitch, where the Adhara Shadja is in the G scale. A male musician may have C or D as his basic Adhara Shadja. So for every musician, we see that they have a fixed Adhara Shadja based on which they actually create the music. And also we see that here, in the whole performance, we never change the pitch. Whereas you might have observed also in a light music concert where the singer, actually according, even the same singer for that matter, depending on what the composition is, every time he'll be changing his pitch to suit that particular composition, and the orchestra also tunes every time actually according to the pitch of that particular composition. So the concept of pitch is quite different. I just wanted to share that here in terms of what we have in film music to the classical music, where the Adhara Shadja for any musician is constant. Of course, with age, what happens is that our pitch gets less. So probably when I was a smaller girl, I used to be able to probably comfortably sing in 6, and then now after that 5.5 pitch, and now I've settled to 5. And as I keep aging, probably due to the age factor, what happens is that the pitch may go down. But the point here is that I have something called a common pitch. Now, based on this pitch only, we see that the entire concept actually revolves like Sa, Sa. The complete exact octave is the higher Sa. And then in between you have the Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Da, Ni in its different varieties. So the entire gamut is formed. Now, in terms of the consonants, we see that the best consonants is Sa, Sa, and the next one is Sa, Pa, the fifth note consonants. So that is also probably because of this that ideally you would have seen in a tambura there are 4 strings. They are tuned to like Pa, Sa, 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 Pa, Sa, Sa, sa. So the tuning is pa sa sa sa, a beautiful consonants. So that you get, thus you get some kind of a complete gamut of the notes which give you the ambience for the creation of the music. So this is how the tambura is tuned, based on this concept of consonants. Now if you look at the concept of this consonants further, you can connect it to other notes as well, like sa, pa, re, da, ga, ni, ma, sa. The next level of consonants is between the sa and ma. Especially in all ragas, we may not have the panchama. So in that case, the ma, sa, ma. Let's take the example of Hindulam, where sa, ma, ga, da, ma, ni. These are also kind of a consonant notes. But as we see here, some ragas may have the panchama, some ragas may not have the panchama, some ragas may have the madhyama or not have the madhyama. So the pa and ma becomes the next level of importance. The ultimate important note for the creation of music is only the adhara shadja, and it is the adhara shadja which really determines the position of all the notes. It also gives complete meaning to all the notes, and you are able to actually make sense and derive beauty, I would say, from the entire music, because of the fact that the adhara shadja is what which lends so much itself to the creation of this beautiful music. CM 365, all about Carnatic music.